many people out there will look at their fridge and think, I need to really go food shopping. I didn't think I needed to go food shopping. I thought my fridge was absolutely fine until I made a meal. We all had different meals that sometimes we had to do to see what's in. Should I show you? Have a look. Look, what do I do with that?
Now my first visit to a food bank was given some pasta, I was given some chopped tomatoes, I was given some starter, and I was basically given tomato puree and then loads of beans and things, and I went home and I cried. I thought, how am I meant to feed my family on that? What what are you going to do? So I thought, right, internet, I'll have a look on the internet. So I scoured the internet everywhere, every recipe I needed, meat or fresh veg, and I thought, well, this is just, ludicrous. What am I going to do?
Children and adults in working families are in poverty. I've just spent the last couple of days supporting people who are really struggling with the fact that they've got through Christmas and they've got no food left, and that they need food parcels from us, to come home and find that my husband's wages have come in and we are absolutely in the same position. January is not the busiest for his business, so he's been sent home early quite a few times, but even when he does get his full wage and he works an entire month doing really long hours with heavy work, he's only just managing to get our bills sorted. I'm now in the position of trying to decide what I have to pay for. Even when we get fully paid, there isn't enough for food, there isn't enough petrol, and he has to have a car to get to work because where his business is, they are in the middle of nowhere, so he has to have a car to be able to get there. And I'm now sat here thinking, how do I afford to feed my family? I'm probably going to have to ask my mum to help me, which is ridiculous because I'm in my 40s and I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, I was brought up not having hardly any food before the benefit system kicked in. So in a way, I remember what it was like, but it's still for me, even though I've had that experience before, even though as a child.
You're now the responsible parent, and it's
still
different.
that crashing
really hard.
weight feeling that, right, the government now says I had to live off the minimum amount to live off. This is how much it is per month for my circumstances with 2 children.
I'm tired, I'm working a lot of hours, I have 4 children who I hardly see, and then I have 3 stepchildren, and making a fresh milk can be quite hard, so chips and chicken nuggets it is.
So you've just heard from a very close friend of mine who's working all hours. She's a wonderful woman. She's going back to college to educate herself and improve the situation for herself and her children, and she doesn't know how to make ends meet. At Chill Cafe, CIC, we are worried sick about so many people that come into us to use our free food bank. They don't qualify for help, they're working people, and they just don't know how to make ends meet at all. In this last 2 weeks, one of the ladies that used to come into us regularly for food advice on how to cook, she got very excited one day as we showed her how to use a hand blender, and she learned how to make soup. She came in every day and got a new recipe, has died, waiting to have help with a pip form. There are so many people out there who are on the edges of disability, edges of poverty, and actually on the edges of society that nobody's looking at. Food should not be a political argument, but it is.
Today's been a really upsetting day. I've had several more working people coming in to use our free food bank. I've just sat and spoken to a lady in tears who is a professional. She works in a school, she is a single mum, she's really, really struggling, she's desperate to make ends meet, Universal Credit has stuffed her over, she's possibly going to lose a car, which means she can't go to work, and I just sit here and think, God, how is somebody who's a professional person in a school which is the thing we should be revering most, our education system. We should be ploughing every penny we've got into it, sitting in front of me in tears, asking for fruit and veg, asking for bread, asking for basic food. She doesn't want steak. She didn't want anything extravagant. She wasn't asking for a tin of caviar. She was asking for some carrots, some potatoes and some bread. This is disgusting. When is it going to change? How is it going to change?
What is it like in the holidays?
The holidays are also a nightmare. Not say that kids are around. Hi guys. Not a nightmare as such, but it's harder because we can't do anything. We're stuck in the house. We go out to parks. It's great. We can afford little coffees and stuff, but we can't do anything the other kids want to do, and the other kids want to do in the school, and they understand that, and that's fine. This time of year is a big money pinch, isn't it, guys? So I just think we're embarrassed. Basically, some kids on Facebook and the mums are saying each parent spends about £200-300 each on a child. And I said this is not needed, and I have been scrutinised and said I'm tight, and actually my kids have everything pretty much they need. They don't get brand new clothes all the time, a lot of it's second hand, but there's stuff out there was stuff out there that was pretty much brand new in charity shops. Now the charity shops, everything's too expensive, everything's gone up, toys are broken, they're not suitable. It's getting harder and harder. Everything's got to last as long as possible. What are you doing?
The local church in New Ayswick, they put on like a Let's Lunch thing. Okay. You know, well, really for anyone to come to from the school. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I mean, it meant, you know, for a few days in the holidays, we didn't need to struggle. We, you know, and got to go and see other people, and you know, not be stuck in the house if we didn't have any money. And
Exactly.
When I got that 4 weeks of no money, I'm paying it off for a very, very long time. It still took a long time for this money to come in.
Is this when you'd applied for Universal Credit?
When I applied for it, yeah. Even though we're basically a straightforward process of getting it all sorted, I quickly realised that I could pay my rent, which is slightly more than the council. I'm in housing associations, so at least it's not private rent, so it's slightly more understandable. But it still means I'm in arrears for it. So I'd come here and get the food, the fresh food, if they had any fresh food, and whatever I can get hands on to feed my kids, and they come first before me. I have got Universal Credits for a little while, been asked to move over from the job seekers, and albeit the online thing. I think it's better for me as a self-employed person, albeit being a minus each month with it. You're right, little man. Basically, when my partner moved out, they expected me to live off about £400 a month, because taking account that his wage is supposed to be in that month, and it doesn't work like that. And they basically turned around and said, "Tough, that's how it works." Pretty much their words. Yeah, George. I was in minus, still in minus now, trying to play catch up with the companies and paying off things, paying off my rent. I got until I think March to pay it, like 2 months worth of rent off, as well as bills that build up, as you can imagine. This means that each month I am technically less than the minimum wage, living allowance that they say you can minimally live off. 2 early in the morning, I can't say the words correctly. I also had to sell my car, albeit it went for, I had to sell it for less than it's worth. I needed that money fast. My cooker has broken. It has before Christmas. I'm living off a hob, a small top oven, luckily, even that's dodgy. To make benefits slightly more flexible for people who need them, there should be a pocket of money aside that I only towards a cooker so I can cook better food for my family, provide me the provisions to therefore, even in these sticky situations, to therefore make it a bit more easier and less stressful.
Quite frankly, somebody with some common sense needs to sit in central government and actually make them understand how so many people in this country are massively struggling, and how, quite frankly, they have got the impression that you just do not give a crap in central government.
What is the health impact?
One of the most expensive things is meat, which I don't actually eat, but I've found that corn is pretty similar in price. And then I'd say after that, fresh fruit. Which obviously is one of the things I really want to get into, me and my kids. But we end up being able to buy enough for maybe 3 days, and then the rest of the week we end up eating rubbish. So
I have been to the doctors because I am really, really struggling. I just can't seem to stop crying. I just feel angry all the time. I'm just generally not very well. I keep having panic attacks and I'm throwing up constantly. I've been to see my doctor and he said, you know, I'm absolutely anxious, massive stress, depression. He's given me a prescription for antidepressants and said, oh, try these, see how you get on. And you know what? That's amazing, but who's paying for them? Because it's £8.90 for a prescription. He's given me 1 month of tablets to see how I get on with them, which means that I've got another £8.90 to pay next month. I'm already stressed to hell because I've got no money. I've got no way of earning any money at the moment above and beyond what we're already doing. I'm doing a second job on top of the job I do already, helping people in poverty. My husband's working as many hours as can physically help at work. My mum and dad are helping. There is no more money. I don't get any benefits. I don't get any support. We live in a mortgaged house that we can't get out of, unless we literally sell our house and try and get private rented somewhere, and then I'm not sure how we'd do that because we wouldn't be able to afford it. It's just a completely vicious circle. There just seems to be no end to it. It is no wonder that so many people are on antidepressants. It's no wonder that so many people are having breakdowns everywhere. You can't make ends meet.
And we have the heating on minimum, so it might get to 15 degrees in the house, which technically you're not supposed to let it drop below 18, but especially I've got a 1-year-old who's down here somewhere. But that's the way it has to be, and the kids don't know any difference, to be fair, but it just means extra blankets, keep them warm. Buying everything in sales, food-wise, and buying everything in sales. We're not buying the best healthy food, unfortunately. I'm trying my best. We are not eating anywhere near enough veg anymore. Nowhere near enough meat anymore. Too much processed food, I don't like it. We used to eat quite well, but I'm not trying to compare myself with that. It's the fact that my kids probably not getting enough technically nutrition, enough veg, enough vitamins. We do quite a lot of fruit, I suppose. So there's that, but the fruit comes from Chill and his food places. Without them, we'd seriously struggle. Lots of other people, they've been a huge rescue to us, especially with that month where I could have fed my children if it wasn't for these food places. I always put money in, even if it's just a tiny amount, just to help bring that back. And even now, I still need to use it.
So what are the solutions?
I am one of the organisers of this project, which is all about getting people that have real experience of food affordability issues to tell us and explain what it's like on a day-to-day basis and give ideas as to how to make changes.
So the flexibility, even if it's on a long-term loan where no interest, you can pay it back when you are comfortable. When you've got a job, you can pay that back. Because I can't get a cooker, it's not happening.
No.
The politicians need to listen to us. Everyone deserves a living wage. These things, the sharing food, is just a stopgap. We need to go to the source, and everyone deserves to live properly.